Welcome back to the message mapping series. In this session, we will focus on the statistic functions. You need to have a good understanding about the context handling to be able to work with these functions. Let's look at the definition. These functions are used to handle the source fields that appears multiple times, which is max occurs is greater than 1 within the same context. So if we look at the functions, we have only 4 statistic functions: sum, average, count, and index. Sum is used when you want to calculate the sum of all the numbers in each context, right? Average is used to calculate the average value within the given context, and count is used to count the number of values or number of times the node appears within the same context, and the index is used to generate numbering, unique numbering for each value in the context. So all these functions focus on handling the values within a context, right? So let's try to understand this with a simple example. Here in the left side, I have source purchase order details, and the right side contains the expected output. Here you can observe it has purchase order as the root tag, and then PO number, line items, and multiple items. And each item has material and the quantity. In the output, we need to map the PO number as is, which is fine. Total line item. So you need to calculate or count the number of line items that are present in the source system. So you need to generate 4. And the total quantity, you need to sum all of these values and generate this value. Average quantity, what is the average of all these 4 quantities, right? You need to populate the average, and then you need to populate each line item, but you have to include item index. See the numbering 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you need to include a numbering. Simple and straightforward. Let's try to implement this in our CPI. I have already created the message mapping for us, but we need source structure and target structure. I have already XML, so I can easily generate the structures. So let's copy the source XML and go to any online tool, XML to XST converter. Paste this, check this box, generate schema. Now copy this, saved with a meaningful name. We'll say source underscore PO dot XST. You need to save it with dot XST extension. Copy the target XML, paste it here, generate schema. Like this. Save it with a meaningful name. Target underscore PO underscore XST. Fine. Now we have both the source and target structures. So let's upload them in the message mapping. Add source. Add the target as well. Now let's start the mapping. So map the purchase order to purchase order summary, PO number to PO number. Now the total line items. You need to calculate the number of times the line item node appears, right? So you need to calculate the occurrences of a node. So here in the statistic functions, we have a function called count. So I'll map this line item to total line items, and if I scroll up, I'll go to the statistic function and select the count. I'll map this count to here. Now, like we discussed, the statistic functions works at context level. So you need to handle the context properly. Let's try to upload the sample XML file and generate a queue so that we can understand what's going on. So I'll click here, test input file, and upload the source XML and try to display the queue. It says mapping contains validation error. Why? You can see there are other mandatory fields as well. You cannot leave the mandatory fields. You should map them. But I would like to just test this particular field, total line items. So how can we test a particular field? With display queue, right? But to do the display queue, you need to map all the mandatory fields. But for now, what we can do is we'll just disable the field. Click here and disable the field. Do the same thing for the average quantity as well. Disable field. And this is also a mandatory field, so just disable the line item. Now we are good. So if I try to display the queue, I'll display at the count level. See, it has the value. So we mapped a node list, so you can observe the square brackets. It doesn't have any value since it has other child nodes, so it will represent it with square brackets, but fine. So here you can see the count is 4, which is correct. So we have 4 line items, so the count is mapped as 4. Okay, let's continue with the next one. Total quantity. So I'll try to enable this field, and for this one you need to calculate the total quantity value. So I'll open the line item, and here you can see the quantity. So I'll map the quantity to total quantity. Like the count, I can use another function called sum. This sum will calculate the total quantity value. So connect this to this. So count worked without the need to handle the context, right? Let's see how the sum works here. If I display the queue here, see the output is 10, 25, 15, 30, which is not correct, right? I want to calculate all of these values. I want to calculate the sum of these values. So here, if you see in the source XML, 10, 25, 15, 30 should be returned as 80, the total quantity. But statistic functions works at context level. So sum function is used to calculate the sum of the nodes under a single context. But the quantity, if you observe, the parent node is this. For this quantity, this is the parent node. For this quantity, this is the parent node. So the parent node is changing for each quantity node. But for the sum, to be able to calculate the sum, you have to have all the quantities under one roof. In other words, quantity is in different context, and you need to have all these values under one context. How can we perform this? We've already discussed the node functions, right? Which function can be used to set all these values under the same context? We can use remove context, right? So let's try to use the remove context function here. And close this. Go back. Go to the node functions and take the remove context. So I'll connect this to here and here. So I am removing the context of the quantity nodes. So if I display the queue at sum, see the value is 80 now, and all these quantities under the same context, under the same parent node. So you can see there are no grayed out areas. So what does a grayed out area indicates? It indicates a context change, but there is no context change since we have used the remove context function. It removes all the context changes. Now it's in the expected format.